What's up, guys? This is Josh for Fair RC, bringing you a close look at the 6 best upgrades for your CR18P from Hobby Plus. Check it out. Alright, we've got the brass wheel weights, we've got the brass wheel hexes, we've got the steel transmission gears, we have the oil-filled shocks, steel drive shafts, and an LED light bar made specifically for the CR18P rock van. Alright, we're going to start off with the LED light kit for the rock van. What comes in the package? We have instructions, the LED lights, an LED light bar, bracket, and screws for installation. Alright, step 1, we're going to remove the body clips, lift it up. We're going to go ahead and remove the bumper for step 2. Using a Phillips screwdriver, we're removing the lowermost screws on the bumper bracket. That will fall off. Now we're going to install the lights. Okay, to put the lights on, it does take a little bit of force. You can see that. It does take a little bit of force. So instead of pushing on the wire, I just use my thumbnails just to push that in there. Goes in. Little snap. Nice and easy. Feed these down through here. Alright, let's get the light bar. Alright, so we didn't need the bracket. The screws just go right through the bumper into the light, like that. Put it back on the same way it came off. Alright, now we need to route the wires underneath through this hole here. Alright, we grabbed some tweezers to help fish this guy through here. Looks like the little tab faces towards the back. And here's our other one. And feed it in just the same. Alright, there you go. Now let's check out our light functions using channel 4 on our radio. We got headlights. We got brighter headlights. We got flashers with our now fog lights and then cool LED light bar. Look at that. We got now just our fog lights with LED light bar. One more time, all off. Man, that is too cool. Alright, so we are going to install the brass first. To me, that's the first thing that this thing needs is some weight down low to help keep us planted and also move the weight forward. So what we're going to do to achieve that, here, look, we have a perfect 60-40 balance on the scale just by using our 2 wheel weights in the front and just the hexes in the back. So we have the hexes and the wheel weights in the front and we have just the hexes in the back. So that's what we're going to go ahead and install. So let's get to it. We're going to go ahead and take the wheels off, and before we install the brass weights, since we're going to have the wheels off, we are going to go ahead and install these shocks while we have the wheels off. So the shocks come with instructions. They are oil filled. All right, underneath the hubcap here is the wheel nut. Let's go ahead and get that off. And let's go ahead and remove the shock. Going to need a 1.5 hex wrench to take off the ball for the link and the shock. All right, we just used our needle nose pliers to apply a little pressure and push this ball in through. It is quite difficult, but stick with it and you can get it. Okay, we need one of the M2x12 into the top of our shock. It already comes with a spacer. For me, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the top left one just to get a little bit of angle. We're going to use one of our M2x16. We need a spacer for our link here. Insert the new link ball and spacer again with pliers. Put a little pressure. Snaps right into place. If you notice, the flange on the shock has 2 sizes, a small side and a big side. We want to make sure that the big side is out. That's going to stop it from ever coming off in case our rubber bands wear out. And these shocks, by the way, came fully assembled, and they come with 1.5 hexes instead of the Phillips. So that's really nice and appreciated. Okay, through the shock, through the link. Come on, guy. And into the axle. There we go. You found the hole, buddy. There we go. So we got that one done. So on the back, we're just going to use the 1 hex. We're going to put that back on here. We're going to take this off. Center up our little pin. Drop that bad boy on there like that. Put your wheel back on, and that's 1 corner. All right, so we got the 3 sides done. We are on the front passenger side. We're going to take off the upper link. Uses a Phillips. We need to take some pliers to stop this nut from spinning. I'm going to pull this all the way out. Now we need to get from the other side to be able to get to pop this guy off. Pried that off there. Let's get it out of here. We're going to reuse the same nut. We also need to take this guy out here. Now, this upper link is much shorter, so I'm interested to see how this goes. Like a lot shorter. There's the two links next to each other. Let's see what happens. All right, we're going to remove the drive shaft so that we can get to this ball here, the ball link. There we go. From here, it moves to this next hole forward. All right, let's get that new shorter link reinstalled or installed. Pushes right onto the ball, much easier. We now need our M2 by 20 that goes through the link. All right, using our M4 box wrench, we're gonna nip up this link. All right, it gives us a little bit of a axle clock. Looks like it clocked our front axle a little bit. Looks like it works really good. That's pretty cool. So on to the last shock here. We're gonna get this thing taken off. Pop this guy off. All right, we got the shock back on. We got our new link on. We're gonna get this last hex swapped out. And these hexes do add, it looks like 4 millimeters. This is really cool. This put on. And the last thing we gotta do, I already did the other side. We're gonna do the wheel weight. We need Phillips on loosen mode. Just 5 screws. They're short, doesn't take too long. One more, you got it, dude. Take that. If you're careful, you can keep all the screws in. You're just going to take out the plastic insert. You're going to drop in the brass insert. Put the other side back on. Line up your holes. And screw it back together. Tighten mode. We're not going to tighten it all the way. We're just going to get it sucked down a little bit. We're going to go across. Nip all of them back up. Make sure they're all tight. Looks good. Feels good. Throw that back on there. And that should have us mean. Look at that. Wow. Shocks feel amazing. Really good. That front axle clock pushes us a little bit forward. It actually improves our angle on the front even better than it was. Last thing we got to do, we got 2 things. We're going to put the drive shaft on and transmission gears in there. All right, so next up we are going to take out the 4 screws that hold in the transmission. We're just going to go ahead and drop the whole skid. That way we don't have to take the body off. Next, we're going to take out these 3 screws that hold the transmission to the transmission skid. All right, with those 3 screws removed, we should be able to slide out the transmission enough to access. Looks like there are 3 screws to remove this cover. Let's try that. 4 millimeter box wrench to remove the spur gear. All right, we have 2 more screws here to open the case. Remember that the long one goes in the middle. We're also going to need to remove this drive shaft. Need to remove both of them actually because we'll be replacing those as it goes back together. All right, there are a total of 4 screws holding the 2 halves of the transmission together. 2 are on the front side and 2 are on the back side. Be careful if you're doing it this way not to break the motor wires. The other way to do it would be to go ahead and take all the screws off for this body. That's a lot of work. So now we should have access internal gears of the transmission. There we go. All right, we're going to put it back together just the way that it came apart. We need to make sure that we have our bushings in place. This would be a great time to replace bearings if you're going to do it. All right, we'll put the gears in just like we took them out. Big, medium, smaller, and our other one is already in here. We'll put the two halves back together and tighten up our screws. Where we got 2 on the back side and 2 more on the other side before we put the case back on, the cover. Long screw goes back in the center. Put the spur back on, and the case goes back on with 3 screws. All right, last thing, we're gonna go ahead and get these drive shafts put on here. Looking very sharp, very shiny. So put this one on the rear. We're gonna go ahead and put just a little bit of Loctite. Very nice, man. All right, there's that one. Put this guy on the front. Ooh, look at it just dangles like an earring right now. Pretty. It's like jewelry. It's like car jewelry, dog. All right, now for the last 2 pieces. The long side goes away from the motor. Now we're gonna fish this back in here, just like we got it out of there. All right, we wanna make sure that our drive shafts are in sync. That way we have no wobbles or bumps, no kinks. All right, we'll go ahead and put these screws in, and then we will connect this drive shaft afterwards. That's gonna be much easier. You can fish it through there, but we're gonna go ahead and do it the other way. Wedge this back in here, line the holes. All right, got those screws in. Let's go ahead and take this off. One last screw, get this guy back together. And there you have it. Look at that. We gained width, we gained weight. We set our balance at 60/40, which is perfect for rock crawling. We've got a bulletproof transmission. Man, look at this. And check this out. Wow. All right, folks, that's been Josh for Fair RC, bringing you the 6 best upgrades for the CR18P from Hobby Plus in the rock van and the T-Hunter, Trail Hunter. Yes, sir. Check them out at fairrc.com. Pick yours up today. Too cool. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about these new models. We sure do appreciate y'all watching and hope you have a great day.